Cormac Campbell. Very well.
I was going through the old papers again in the last week, and a lot of people wouldn't realise this, but in the 70s, Rowan actually had, it was like a problem page. Like people used to write into the reporter. It was called Rowan Relates, and Rowan used to tackle some people's personal problems, you know, like Dear Deirdre or something like that out of the tabloids.
What is he talking about?
So it was a very interesting column.
What is he talking about? That's what I want to know.
You don't remember doing it?
Never did it in my life.
You never did it in your life? I'll have to bring in the cutting.
I'd like to see the cutting. I would. But now that I'm...
It was concerned in Camla was how the person who wrote to you signed off.
Concerned Camla.
Worried in Warren Point.
Worried in Warren Point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Loved up in Lissummon.
What have you got today?
What have I got? Front page.
It gets worse.
Now this is something that we have flagged up repeatedly since July.
Yeah.
And it's only really that, in one hand, it's something people should have been very aware of because it wasn't a secret. Yeah. On the other hand, when the letters went out to people in the Meadow area of Newry in relation to proposals that Jennings Park could be sold for redevelopment as part of the Health Hub project, people started getting very worried that this thing was potentially very real.
Yeah.
And obviously there's 3 sites proposed for the Health Hub: St Clair's, the Old Abbey Primary, and also Jennings Park. Now, obviously the council owned Jennings Park, which is playing field, so that would require the potential developer Felix O'Hare to purchase the site, and that is what has caused the concern among the residents. So Ryan Sands has our lead on the front page today in relation to all the ins and outs of this matter.
Should it be? Should it not be?
People are getting quite heated about, it must be said.
I think the desire of the residents is that an area of greenery should remain, that bricks and mortar aren't actually going to be healthy for the community and the attendant flow of traffic that would go to any new health hub.
Well, as you know, Rowan, I have no opinion on the matter, just to present
what
other people's views are.
You have an opinion on the matter, but the good journalist you are, you leave it outside the editorial door and you pick it up on your way out again.
Well, that's true, Rowan. That's true. On page 2, we always go for something a little bit lighter, and thanks to one of our readers, Patricia Kelly, we have picked that up. Obviously, Jonathan Swift, he famously spoke of Newry's High Church, Low Stable, Dirty Streets, Proud People.
Yes.
And Patricia has unearthed a map from 1760 by, excuse my poor French, Jean Roca. Not the fashion designer.
I was going to say that. You'd find him over in Jack Murphy's.
So, which North Street in 1760, according to this map, was called Dirty Lane.
Dirty Lane.
And if you think that it was 1667 to 1746 was when Jonathan Swift was alive, and his regular visits to Newry would have been at the tail end, I guess, of his life. So maybe he was speaking about Dirty Lane when he was saying about Newry's dirty streets. Maybe not, but it makes an interesting piece. It does. Either way. Warren Point now and the oil spill.
Oh, yeah.
The oil spill that a lot of people thought was being kept secret, kept a mystery. Now, the clean-up operation is ongoing, but the Department of Environment have said it's too early to say what the final outcome of the incident will be.
And this is an outpouring of natural oil, crude, coming up from the bowels of the earth.
We've struck it. We're all going to be rich.
We're all going to be rich. It's going to be good.
It's a spillage in the harbour.
We've got the money now in the oil for the Narrowwater Bridge. Have you seen the bridge? Hold on.
Oh?
Looking for the bridge. No, they're now saying in your paper, has it, that the bridge is going to be part of the Southern Relief Road.
They're not saying it's going to be. The stakeholders in the bridge project wish to put on the minister's agenda that it should be considered as one of the potential routes for the Relief Road, which would effectively upgrade the road over from Cormac right over to roughly the Carrickdale.
It's possible.
It's very possible.
Very possible.
Actually, I remember driving from the Carrickdale to what would have been the site of the Narrowwater Bridge at Cormac, and it would mean you would be from Carrickdale to Warren Point in roughly about 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
So the stakeholders have put that recommendation forward.
See what happens there.
In terms of the oil spill, if you think back to the gas leak that took place in December 2012, It wasn't
Oh,
until
yes, from the harbour.
it
yeah.
wasn't until the following October that the report into what exactly happened was published. So people are expecting answers in relation to what's happened with the oil spill now. It doesn't look likely that that's going to happen. Now, one of the first effects we've seen is that there's an indefinite ban on mussel farming in the area, and obviously that's a huge industry in the Warren Point area. You only have to look at the town dock and the boats that are there for that purpose, that this is a very worrying occurrence. Now, we've got a reaction from both the Department of Environment and the harbour in relation to what's happened. So it's not good news.
No, it's not good news, but any good that's in it, I'm reassured by one Peter Conway, who's a man of the ocean and would care about these things. And he's the skipper on the bridge deck trying to sort all this out. So no better man than Conway could you have in there trying to do the business.
Well, it's not good for them to not fix it. So
Who's out there doing it?
I've no doubt that they will do their
yeah.
utmost to get it resolved. It is disappointing, and we'll wait and see whether it was avoidable.
Oh.
Obviously, there was quite a lot of high-profile court cases in the area over the past week.
Yeah.
We have them covered. It's the culmination of the 1.5 million will conspiracy case, and Francis Tiernan was sentenced during the week.
What madness people get up to.
Unbelievable. Like, as the judge said, it was something like a Hollywood script.
Where would you even begin? I think I will involve myself in a fraud that will take money and largesse from my godparents, whatever. I think. Where would you start it? I
wouldn't have thought he spoke with a upper class English accent.
No, I'm doing that deliberately so that I can't cause any problems. No litigation on the basis of defamation and all of that. Can you defame? I suppose you can. Defamation of a person who has been put down for it.
The only people you can't defame are people who are dead.
That's right. I wonder, is there an exception to that rule? Anyway, please go on.
On page 5, we have a new chapter for Newry Salvation Army.
Yes.
And the Salvation Army is leaving their iconic building on Trevor Hill, which is a listed building. We've actually dug up some of the history of the building, and it was formerly known as the Ebenezer Church, and it was erected in 1816. The 19th century plan of Newry has a border illustrating some of the town's prominent buildings. The town is shown as it is today, but without the porch at the front, and it was known as the Ebenezer Chapel. So it then got taken over about 124 years ago by the Salvation Army. I know where they now are because it's right beside the Newry Reporter office.
Yes,
they're now located in Margaret Street. They've taken a premises there. So they're obviously still very much in the town.
Oh, aye.
Now that is the message that Major John Parrott is putting across. He says much of the work and mission of the Salvation Army was done on street corners, public places, and in locations regarded by many as no-go areas. I wouldn't refer to Margaret Street as a no-go area, but you get the point he's trying to get across.
Absolutely. But it seems, what's going to happen to that wonderful building? Yeah?
Well, that's what remains to be seen. Now, I was busy.
No one can raise it.
No, it's a listed building.
Yeah.
I was busy checking the property sales websites, and no sign of the Salvation Army building. So we await news on what happens.
I believe it's still owned by the people who were there, the motorcycle people.
Crossing.
I believe it's still owned because they leased it to the Salvation Army.
Right.
At one. No, hold on. What was it? They were selling
They
it.
were in the next building.
They were in the next building, and they actually leased their building
to the Salvation Army
for their community
the
outreach.
Salvation Army had a shop.
They had a shop there and all the rest of it. And they're now, well done to John Parrott, they're out there at night as the Newry Knights, out doing things, so we'll hear from him shortly.
We'll hear more about
what's going on.
Something we've talked about regularly, Rowan, we finally got clarity on the matter. Clarity of sorts, because what happens next? The council chamber refurb plan is officially binned. Officially binned.
I think we should take
what happens now. Now the discussions relate to the
How much has it cost them to go from the moment we said don't do it
before that
officially binning it?
If you consider the planning applications, the concept drawings, architects' fees, consultancy fees, no doubt, a conservative estimate says 4 figures.
Yeah.
It could possibly be 5.
4 figures.
Could possibly
4 figures, very little.
Exactly. I'm erring on this side of caution. So it is bent. Now there is a debate over what happens next. The SCLP grouping on the new council want it to be a new civic centre to be automatically placed on the programme, the plan for the council between 2015 2019, whereas other parties and groupings on the chamber believe to follow the I suppose the traditional course of action, which is a feasibility study, and then work towards the development of a civic centre in Uri. Now, at that end, people worry, does that mean any delays in that regard mean that Uri won't be the headquarters of the new council? To this end, the Chief Executive's office has been placed in Uri. So the official address of the new council is Newry, although there'll be obviously dual function with Downpatrick's palatial headquarters.
Oh, absolutely. Are you getting any sense from your palatial editorial chair of the new togetherness, if you like? You know, Crossmidlen out to Strangford.
From Crossmidlen to Killyleagh, this is young Uri morning down.
Hey,
that sounds like
welcome.
a sting.
Yeah.
That sounds like a sting you could put on at the start of your show.
You could, well, you could give, you could.
Why are those things always done in English accents?
I don't know. It's terrible. And why do they think we're stupid and Tesco? Goodness gracious, going down. Prepare to push the trolley. Prepare to trust.
Are you saying they should get someone from?
Push your trolley now.
We're not from
Right. Give our stick.
either.
Give our stick now. Get her out there.
Get someone from Kilkeel to do it.
You could
push the
you
trolley.
got your trolley there. Let her go. Let her go there. But hold on to her at the same time.
Yeah, but moving swiftly on. Rowan,
Moving swiftly on.
We spoke as well about Jim Wells, South Down
Yeah.
MLA's new
What
health
is he
minister.
at today in the paper? Did you see what he was at?
I heard something about it. All right.
I told Jim, why do you do it? He's a decent man. I like Wells. But he says if you go into West Belfast, at night time, you'll see 6 feet tall, bald men, tattooed, and they're outside smoking, and it's the only law they've ever obeyed in their life. Why do you do it, you idiot? You stop it.
Well, anyway, he's
another one.
He's been summoned to Newry and Moran's health committee, not because of his views on West Belfast, but to discuss the stroke unit at Daisy Health.
Yeah.
So the health meeting was last week. It's always an interesting meeting, sometimes repetitive, but always full of gold. And Ryan Sands was at the meeting, so he is the rationale behind Jim Wells' summonsing to Newry. And I'm sure he will come with bells on.
Oh yeah, we will, of course.
If only for the wonderful hospitality provided at Monaghan Row.
Yes, indeed.
Now, I found this a little interesting. A number of months ago we reported that the new council, so this is Newry Morning Down, were being faced with the decision to whether to remain a district or become a borough.
Yes.
Now, you might go, what's the difference? The difference is to be a borough you need a royal charter. It allows you to wear robes in the chamber, have a certain percentage of councillors known as aldermen, but it also allows you to appoint freemen of the district,
of the borough.
Right. So, given the royal charter element and the broadly nationalist outlook of the majority of people in the district, it was viewed that this wasn't going to happen. However, now it appears it is going to happen, although other than retaining a mayor, everything else will be left at the door, although I presume they'll probably look into freeman status, free man or free woman status. So we've spoken to Sinn Féin councillor Michael Ruan in relation to the rationale behind such a move, which most people thought was not on the agenda.
But sure, if they were no problem going with Newry City status, a gift from the Queen to celebrate her anniversary, whatever, they'll have no problem. Do you know that Musselburgh was a borough when Edinburgh was nay?
Well, Edinburgh is Edinburgh.
It's Edinburgh. It's the poetic. It's the poetic thing here.
I thought
Musselburgh.
I thought it was called Dunedin. But anyway.
There you are. You got it. Dunedin. That's down in the southern tip of New Zealand.
It's also Edinburgh.
I know.
Yeah.
Is it? There you are.
Yeah.
Arthur's chair.
Dunedin's named after
Arthur's
Fort.
chair.
Fort.
Yeah.
Dun's a fort.
Why is
Such as Andon.
Cashleen. Why is Restrever?
Cashleen Rory.
Why is that? How does Cashleen Rory translate to Rostrever?
Because the Gaels were here before the British. If you want a simple answer.
Okay, we will. Hurry, take me to sport, will you? Something.
One last thing, we've a page of ghost stories. It is Halloween.
Ooh.
So local ghost stories: Greencastle Goal, Dwight with Tara. That's Carlingford-based story. The Maori Cat, Lasara's Leap, and the Warren Point Witch, as well as regular letter contributor John McCabe has some ghost stories relating to Mournview Park.
Oh.
And Lennon Hall area.
Oh, okay.
Into sport, and our lead story in sport this week is an interview with Caolan Mooney, who was in Australia and is now back looking to play for Ostrava and Down. No, he's a footballer. Rowan. Tut, Rowan.
I just don't know. Where can I know?
So there's a nice 2-page interview with Caolan Mooney, and I never actually thought Caolan Mooney was so big. Gareth in work is about 6'2", right?
He is.
And there's a picture of Caolan Mooney standing beside Gareth, and Gareth actually looks like a small child standing beside him. So I would have thought Caolan Mooney's greatest ability was his speed.
Yes.
But he also appears to have a bit of height that he can be a target man up front.
Wow.
In the
Put her in the
season.
onion bag.
The onion bag. It's a game of two halves. He'll be sick as a parrot. Funny old game, etc.
All right.
Our other main sports story is Gareth's been interviewing Aaron Kernan.
Yeah.
Cross Midland play Omas and Ednas in the Ulster Club Championship quarter.
Absolutely. Why bother going Omas and Edmonds? There's absolutely no one can beat Cross Midland, for goodness sake.
This year they certainly look like a strong package.
They are.
Although it's doubtful whether Omas and Ednas will show up to the game wearing jeans, as was the case in a previous cross game.
Well, I would like to very much thank you for presenting yourself here this morning, accepting the challenge of talking to the world. You're very big in Mullabon and Montreal. And yes, there's
just
women.
you see, that's how you've related the skill of when you were writing the problems to answer on your problem page.
So what is he talking about? My problem?
Massive in Mullabon, all those sort of things.
Do you know who died during the week? The man who killed the Frontier Sentinel in Newry.
Oh,
Austin Lynch of the Northwest of Ireland Publishing Company. They were the family who owned the Newry Frontier Sentinel, and Mr. Lynch, at a point in his illustrious career, decided that the Frontier Sentinel, a nationalist organ of this part of the world, a newspaper of nationalist persuasion, was no longer profitable and would be axed from the portfolio of the Northwest of Ireland Printing and Publishing Company. So as I read with sadness of his demise, his magnificence in golf, his kindness to the world, I thought, you killed the Sentinel.
I'm sure he didn't do it for fun.
He did it for the mun, baby.
Business is business, Ron.
Business is business. Well, we'll see you again next week.
I don't know.
We'd like to formally invite you back.
Okay.
Will you accept the invitation?
Okay.
Go well.
Go well, Rowan.
God bless you.